Hello. Sorry we're late. We're sitting here, the four of us, having just too much fun. We're chit chatting away and just having a good time. Hi, I'm Doug. Welcome to Woods Fun Round. We're going to turn something around today. Probably a bowl. At least that's the plan. And show you first the cutoff that I've got. You might be able to see it's almost washed out, but that's a little bit of black walnut that I just picked up. I was down at my dad's the other day, and he's getting rid of some stuff. They're getting ready to move, paring down significantly, and so I got picked up three three pieces of walnut that I just thought were gorgeous. Of course, I'm looking at the waxed ends of it, but anyway. You see my friends here. There's Jason and Ruby and Todd. They'll be in the background, uh, answering questions and reading questions out to me so that I can answer and whatnot. We're going to put them in the background. And I got my wood on the lathe. Um, Here's a view of it. You're seeing the back side there, or the bark side of it. That's going to end up being the bottom. Um, Starting with it on the outside so that I can uh, turn a tenon, flip it around. Is that right? No, this is going to be the top actually. I got to turn a tenon so I can flip it around and get a tenon on the bottom side, get it shaped up, and then we'll flip it back around with this on the top, and we'll turn a bowl with this. Uh, Ruby was just asking me about a another piece that I'd said something about turning a clover. I did that about a month ago on Worldwide Woodturners, and so that's done and over with. That one's been turned. It's in the shop. A couple of folks have been looking at it, but they haven't purchased it yet. So maybe they'll purchase that here in the next few days. So with that being said, I'm going to get started and let one of these guys read off who all is in the chat for us today. Let's see. There we go. I'm trying to get my YouTube chat up. There we go. Okay, I'll shut up and let somebody read off our chat.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Well,
So
before you do it though, let's wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day.
yeah, and
Yes,
and,
happy
and
St.
hope that
Patty's Day. Absolutely.
hope that somebody uses today to buy that clover bowl.
That's
Um,
what I was thinking.
yeah, the store's open today, so maybe they will. And we're going to start off at 645 RPMs. Already checked it out. So go right ahead, Todd.
Okay, well, it started with Ruby and Jay there, and then Dale at Old Man River. Ward Wilson is in saying howdy from the west coast of Arizona, and Jennifer's Craft Creations is in and saying hello to everyone. Paul Norfolk Hunter is in saying good evening. Mike McEwen is in. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Mike Evans saying good evening to the group. Doug Bennett is in.
Did you get Dale from Old Man River?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Just making sure.
He's in again. He was like the next person I was reading there, saying hi to Paul and
Okay.
Michael, Mike, Doug. Here we go. Rob Copperell Wood Turning. Todd Glen Cove Woodworks in saying hi. Tom Kenny is in. Good afternoon. Mike Yu is saying hello. Roger Wallum saying hello from Missouri. Missouri's made the big dance here in the NCAA tournament this year. Goodness, I just refreshed, but I see Norman Greenwell in.
Did you
Uh,
get Bert's bowls?
nope. Yeah, I'm scrolling back up. EM MG Woodworks. Is that?
Yep.
MG, yeah, yeah.
And Malcolm Douglas.
Yeah, Malcolm Douglas. I said Norman Greenwell. Let's see.
And
Tony turns wood.
Yep.
Hey, Tony.
Chris Walters.
Hey, and by the way, happy birthday, Chris. It's Chris's 31st birthday today.
All right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Chris.
TF Turning is in. Goodness, that's just like I see it because my YouTube channel is TLF Woodworks. That's like just so close.
And Grundale, I don't know your first name, sorry.
Is that everyone? We said Wood and Burl earlier, right?
Haley?
No, but that's Haley.
Yeah. I don't think we did then. Yeah. I think she's the last new one to join.
We're good. Well, hello, everybody. Glad to have you along. It's I don't know about everywhere else in the world, but here in Kentucky, we had a sudden return to winter. We had
So did we.
37 degrees this morning when I took my dad to dialysis
that warm.
here in the DFW area.
Our high today is
No,
only supposed
why
to be
don't you
29
try
here.
22 here.
No point me saying my temperature would be way off.
By only a couple degrees, right?
But we went from, we'd normally go from summer to autumn in about 2.5 months. It took a week.
Mike
We had
dances with Aardvarks just joined.
40-degree weather, and then the next week we had raining.
Well, we had actually spring, summer weather 4 days ago, and then suddenly turned cold again.
Yeah, we've been having high 60s, low 70s, and today, here it is. We had snow on the ground this morning.
Wow. Chris at Niantic River Woodcrafting from Niantic, Connecticut has joined. Hello.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Al Dawson is in saying good afternoon.
Big Al.
I think we're at the bottom of the list now.
Yeah.
Very good.
Dale
Mike,
Old Man River says they got 2 inches of snow overnight.
and Mike was saying that where he is, the daffodils are spectacular.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
Ours are as well.
And Haley says not only the daffodils, but the bluebells are out too.
Todd at Glen Clove is saying they canceled school an hour south of you, Doug.
Wow.
Mike's saying it's 52 off the west coast of Canada. Well, hurry up and send it this way, Mike.
Serious. Yeah, yesterday I looked on the Weather Channel, just on the little clip that's on my homepage before I left for the office, and it was it looked like it's going to be an awfully nice day, and it got colder throughout the day yesterday. Just about whiteout conditions by the time I came home.
And Radar has joined us.
Hey, Radar.
And Mike says he was out wandering lonely as a cloud and he noticed them. Yeah, when I left yesterday to go up to the nursing home, I drove right into a huge snow squall. And you could hardly see in front of the vehicle.
Right.
Well, and Bert's saying that the east coast of Canada is 50 today. You're a lot warmer than we are. Right now, we've got up to a high of 24.
Yeah, let me I'm gonna go ahead and mark this so I have it the right size. That'll work. I'm just putting the left edge of that divider on there and gauging the right side, making sure it matches up.
And Scott's saying it's a balmy 90 degrees in California today.
90.
It's good to see you in, Scott. I hope all is well.
Come around here and get these corners off
Ronald
out
Todd
here.
has joined.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron. And happy St. Patty's Day to you as well.
Hello, Ron.
What tool are you working with there, Doug? It looks really round on the
It is
front
a
of it.
Doug Thompson 1/2-inch bowl gouge. So I really like the Thompson tools. And that's freshly sharpened just before we started. Cryogenically treated. They hold an edge well. Takes a little while to get them good and sharp, but once you do, they hold that edge for quite a long time.
I have a 3/8" spindle gouge from Doug Thompson, and I
Yeah.
just love that tool.
They are great tools.
And I have the 1/2" also. Don't pick it up as much as that 3/8".
Right.
That's interesting because most of my bowl gouges are all 5/8.
Yeah, those two spindle gouges, I use them a bunch around the foot of a bowl.
And there's a question, Doug. What is quite a long time? Like 5 minutes, an hour, 2 weeks?
Well, that's relative. For any kind of, when you're talking about how long a tool keeps its edge, my second favorite is a Sorby. That's the two of them side by side. They're not that different. However, the cryogenic is just harder, and so it holds its edge longer than the whatever that is. That's high speed. What is M2, I guess. I'm not sure what steel the Sorby uses. Whatever it is, it does well. In the Sorby, I'll say it every time. The Sorby, I can sharpen it faster, but it just doesn't hold the edge quite as long. But to say how long, to measure it in minutes or whatever, that's a relative term because it depends on the wood and how hard I'm pressing and all of that kind of thing. If I'm doing mesquite and there's a lot of silica in it, it's not going to hold up, 4 or 5 passes. But something like this walnut, I will not have to resharpen it, I don't think. I don't usually.
I find that depends entirely on the wood itself and how much silica it's absorbed through its roots.
I think you're right.
I mean, I've had some wood that was extremely soft. It cuts like butter, and then I've had the same type of wood, and it was more like I was turning stone.
Right. I, one of the worst woods I've ever turned, and it seems like it's every time I turn it for doling tools, is pine.
Well, down your way, you do tend to get a lot of sand in the soil.
Yeah, just about got all those flat spots gone.
I'm digging the way that sapwood is snaking around there.
Exactly. I was hoping I could keep some of that, and I think I will. I'm gonna make this a little bit of a closed form, I think. That way I can keep some of that.
And Todd was saying Dallas has the Southwest's largest annual floral festival, which features over 500,000 blooming bulbs, including 350,000 tulips. It's pretty impressive.
Does that take place at the Dallas Arboretum, Todd?
Well, I was lucky to be in the Netherlands when they had a tulip festival going, and they're all over the place.
I remember seeing pictures of that, and that's phenomenal. Just field after field, nothing but tulips everywhere. Beautiful.
You know, if you're in the Dallas area and you like parks and flowers and whatnot, what Todd at Glen Cove was talking about there, it takes place at the Dallas Arboretum, which is just a wonderful garden here in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
Just well maintained. It's big. It's right off of the lake just east of downtown Dallas. It's really a great experience to go there and spend a morning or an afternoon.
We have a set of Royal Botanical Gardens that are much the same way. When I was at that festival in the Netherlands, they had a peacock made entirely of flowers, and it was about the size of my garage.
Hmm.
It was just absolutely gorgeous.
I bet. That's getting there. I'll get my detail gouge and come in here and make a little bit of a foot right here at the bottom.
Be careful, it might walk away on you.
Yeah. Hope not, but I know you're trying to make a Zed joke, but I had you. Yeah. I was picking up what you was putting down there, Ruby.
Well, we older folks have to stick together.
Let's see. That could be shorter.
Gav has joined.
Hey, Gav.
Gav. All's well here is well here, Gav.
All right. I think
Hello, Gav.
we're right here done with turning on the outside. I think I've got a little mark there where I skated back with this. Yep, I do.
Yep, we can see it too.
Yeah. Let that detail gouge skate. I think I got rid of it. Yep. I got to smooth everything back out. I really like that detail gouge. That's a Thompson detail gouge too. I really like the tool. But I still have issues with it skating back on me. I think I just don't pay enough attention to it. I'm bouncing on something right here too. What is that? I don't know.
I don't know if he's disappeared.
Who's that?
God,
Me?
oh, and Raymond Wise has joined us. Hi, Ray.
Hello, Ray.
A little lump right there.
On the bottom right corner where it goes into the foot, are you going to soften that corner a bit?
Here?
Correct.
Yes.
Boy, it looked like you barely took anything off, but it made a difference.
It did. It did. You're right. Yeah, when you get down to the end, it doesn't take a lot.
Yeah.
It's like right there. There was a lump here. And still got a little shallow right there, but it's just a tiny bit will make a difference above and below. A little bit of a shear scrape just to clean that up. Then I've got an edge up here. That's where it gets rough, but part of that is a little bit of bark inclusion that I'm not worried about taking it out. It's a character section.
Mike says his father-in-law, when he retired, was the head gardener at Butch Hart's.
Ah.
His brother-in-law retired from there last month after 52 years.
Those are impressive gardens.
That's a crazy amount of green thumb in your family right there.
Well, that must mean that he was born with a green thumb then.
Yeah.
I was born with a black thumb.
Mike says the eye can pick up less than 1/10 of a millimeter out on a curve.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's a pretty small amount, but I think yes, there are times when you see something you may not understand exactly what it is, but
Now Gav says that he's had one successful hand thread chased box come off the lathe today. People say to practice on plastic. Would resin work? Don't want to waste boxwood and blackwood practicing. Practicing, I would use something like a hard maple. Resin is touch and go.
Gosh, I would think the resin would chip out easy, and resin's not cheap.
Well, it depends on the type of resin. Some resins are forgiving, whereas others are very brittle.
Yeah, the aluminite slow is pretty forgiving.
yeah. Yes. Yes.
If you soak the wood really well with CA glue, it tends to take a thread a little bit better.
Yep.
Tim Ponder has joined us. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, Tim. All right, let's see what we can do about smoothing this out just a wee bit.
And the Angry Woodturners joined us.
Hey, Roger.
Talking about that 1/10 of a millimeter in a curve, it reminded me of Captain Eddie. Way back in the day, he would take a pencil and put it between like his pointer finger and pinky and roll it over a curve.
Right.
And man, if there's any difference in it, that pencil, you'll feel it. It's really, really unique process.
Hello, Andy. Sorry, I can't pronounce your last name. Don't know if you mentioned that name, Ruby, did you? Or Todd?
I don't think so.
No, in fact, it just came up now.
Yeah, I wonder if mine's
No.
lagging or something.
There's another Andy in here, but I can't pronounce his last name. You have to go back up through the chat and have a look.
Regardless, both Andys are more than welcome, and we're glad you're here.
Is that Andy Schuster, maybe?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Andy.
Yeah, he slipped in past me.
Okay. Who was the other Andy?
Andy the Valley Woodturner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's Lucy's husband. Other half.
Correct.
Sweet Potato's other half.
So what grit are you using there, Doug?
I'm starting off with 80 grit like I typically do. I like to get a good homogeneous surface before we go on to the lower grits and make sure I don't have any blemishes in there. And I can just do that quicker and easier with 80 grit. There are some natural cracks. The pith was down here. There's some natural surface cracking going on. I don't think they're going to be anything. Got some bark here still. And there's some spalting in the sapwood too. I'm with Todd. I love how that works out. Sometimes in walnut, it's just, if it would stay white. Most of the time when I have sapwood included, over about a a month to 6 weeks usually, that white sapwood will turn dark, which is fine. That's okay too. It's just sometimes the striking differences.
Is striking.
Yeah. Very nice.
Mike was pointing out that with training, your fingertips can pick up lumps in the micron scale according to telescopic lens grinders.
Yeah. Yeah, I think your fingers can pick it up way further than your eyes can. I've gone from 80 to 120 now.
How come you're not using your drill?
Because I don't have Velcro on the 120. I'll reverse it. I try to get my sandpaper, get all the grits from one company. And for whatever reason, this company does not do the 120 in a Velcro back, which greatly disappoints me. I may see if by chance they have a 150 maybe, but they don't have the 120.
I end up trying to buy all my sandpaper when I go to SWAT from Vince Welsh,
Yes.
and
And
nice
he's
guy.
local to me.
Is he local to you?
Yeah. Well, 45 minutes away.
That's
He's
local.
His
between
booth
me and
is
Louisville.
his booth is always in the same place,
Yeah.
right across from Niles Bottle Stoppers and right next
Right.
to Doug Thompson.
Right.
And he makes the and sells the oversized round ones. You know, you buy those 25 millimeter ones and they're not any bigger than the pad you put it on. I like the ones that are, 30
Well,
millimeter or whatever his are, a little bigger.
I'm trying to. Here we go. That pad there. It's got the rounded edge, except it usually has black Velcro right there. My
Yeah.
Velcro came off, or the hook side came off. The loop side on the other side is still really good, but it doesn't get the heat that the black hook side gets.
And Doug at the Scottish Way has joined us.
Hey, Doug.
Hello, Doug.
This is 180. I go 80, 120, 180, 240, and that's typically where I stop. Sometimes I will go up to 320 as well, but that's as far as I ever go. I do love how my dust collection system is working. As you can see, the dust is being sucked right off directly into the dust collector.
Yeah, it's
I
working
changed-
very well.
I changed out all my corrugated hose for solid plastic pipe, and I've got about 3.5 feet, maybe 4 feet of the corrugated just at the end for flexibility. And it made a big difference. All right, get some 240 on here.
Well, Steve Curvell made some upgrades for the record power CamVac, and I put those upgrades on my CamVac. And you've actually got to be very careful, or you can get your arm sucked right into it.
Yeah.
A friend of mine didn't believe me, so he came over and I put the first motor on, and it was pretty strong. When I turned the second one on, he understood what I meant.
Mm-hmm. This is the 240 spot hitting a couple of difficult spots. I put a piece out, it's been a while back now. Posted the pictures on social media, and I was pretty proud of it. Had not paid real close attention to it, and somebody comes back, "Are you using an abrasive paste and it's supposed to take it to 1,000? There's a problem there." And I looked at the picture again, and sure enough, there were sanding marks going across it. I was so upset. Well, on one hand, I was upset. The other hand, I didn't really care because it had already sold.
No, you still care.
Yeah, I care. It caused me to look at my pieces ever since then a whole lot closer. Oh, so we're going to do that. Then we're going to come back get that out of the way. Can turn my dust collector off for a minute.
I threw a link for Vince's Wooden Wonders in there.
Good.
Somebody had asked.
Good deal. If Vince is the first person I've heard say, and he's right as far as I'm concerned. Um, the reason why I keep this 120 and don't grab some 120 from somebody else that does have Velcro on it, another company may not use the same grit scale.
Yeah.
And Vince is a strong believer. He doesn't care where you get your paper from. Get all your paper from one manufacturer, because one manufacturer will use a consistent scale on their paper. The next company may have a little more varied scale. So
Now,
it
what
makes
are
a
you
difference.
applying right now?
Yes, this is some Axe abrasive paste, and I'm using a piece of the white Scotch-Brite to apply it. And what this should do is take it from the 240 that I sanded to, and it kind of starts at about 320, and then it's a friable abrasive that'll take it up to close to 1,000 grit.
And Pete from Twisted Trees has joined us. Good morning.
Good
And
morning,
Todd,
sir.
Todd, that link never came up in the chat.
Yeah, it's there. This is crazy. So I'm logged into YouTube as TLF Works. I right-clicked on this live and popped out the chat, and when I popped it out, it has me in as Todd LF. TLF Works is in Doug's stuff with so I show up blue, but Todd LF. Why would it?
It didn't come up on mine either.
Yeah.
Well, if it didn't come up on your alls, it's
Just
not there.
send the link to someone else in the chat and they can post it.
I think I'm going to leave this thing and come back into it and see if it gives me the right thing.
Yeah, you have to be your name has to come up in the chat in blue for you to be able to put a link in.
Yeah.
And Mark S. has joined us. Welcome.
Okay, so I've applied my paste, and I'm just working it with a paper towel. You can see the dust is coming out, but it stays in. It's captured by the paste, the wax and the oil that's in it as carrier. And so you don't have to have your dust collection on. And what I've been told by some lung doctors, some very high class lung doctors, it's the dust that you create from 400 up that is dangerous to your lungs, or the most dangerous. It's all dangerous, but the most dangerous is 400 up, 400 grit up. So this way, all that dust is collected in the paste, and there's no dust being created in the air. So that's one reason I have switched over to using abrasive paste. I used to sand to 1,500, 2,000 grit, which is what Russ Fairfield always talked about and taught. But he didn't have abrasive paste available at the time.
Yeah, that's a fairly recent thing.
Yeah. Russ hadn't been dead all that long, so.
Now, Doug, Pete wants to know, where is his photo of a Melon Tornado salt shaker?
I was just thinking about that this morning, Pete, as I was watching Terry's live from Sunday. I've got to get that to you. I sent it in to our Wednesday night group Wednesday night, but I hadn't sent it to you, so I got to get that in the airwaves to you. We're up to 625. I had turned it down to about 200 to start buffing this in. I'm starting to, every time I speed up, I'm turning my paper towel to a clean spot. I'm basically buffing it off now.
Spun by Green Jeans has joined us. Welcome.
Hey. Good to have you with us today. I haven't turned it off for a few minutes. Well, since we started buffing this up, it's starting to look really good to me.
Well, we're starting to see a reflection.
Yeah. Okay, we'll speed it up one more time and go to another clean area, relatively clean. There's no clean area anymore. It goes through the paper towel. But we're up to 935. I'm still getting a little bit of residue.
Now, are you planning to do something over the top of this?
Oh yeah. This is not a finish. It's
Yeah.
just this is the end of the abrasive portion of it. And then we'll have to put a finish on it. We'll get a new paper towel here.
What finish do you like using on that?
Most of the time when I use the abrasive paste, I'll just go with the Axe wax, the finishing and polish, or let's see, what's he call it? The polishing restoring paste, which is a carnauba wax, high carnauba content wax. It's got just enough oil in it to be able to, so that you can use it. It's a it softens the wax. Straight carnauba is hard. If you dropped it on the floor, it shatters. So you put a little bit of mineral oil in it, and you can soften it up so that it's usable, but still dries to a nice hard wax finish.
I was consumed a minute ago by YouTube popping out my chat with the wrong name. Did we say hello to Spun by Green Jeans?
Yes,
And
yes.
Mark? And yeah, okay.
Okay, now with that bark, I suspect I've got a little bit of this abrasive paste. Not much, but just a touch. So make sure we get that out of those cracks, and the wax will do the same thing. It'll go down in that bark. That bark, you got the heartwood and the sapwood and the bark, and that's making a beautiful picture right now to me.
It is.
Whether it's anybody else or not, looks good to me. And we'll just do one. Go ahead.
I like it.
Well, thank you. I'm just going to put one coat of wax on for now. Afterwards, we'll put some more wax on it. I believe this was a conversation during Terry's live Sunday. You can put more wax on top of wax. Some people think, you can't do anything on top of wax. Well, yeah, you can. I forgot what I was doing one time, and I put lacquer over carnauba wax, and it worked just fine.
If you let that sit a little bit and then polish it, I find you get a better shine.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Spalding has joined us.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Well, I think those waxes, like the one you just put on, might have more of a mineral spirit or something like that in it that evaporates off a little bit. And
some of your, yes, like a car wax or a floor wax, they do. This does not. This is wax and mineral oil. That's all that's in it.
Okay, yeah.
So there's no solvent in there. Not even any. Some waxes have the orange oil or the orange solvent in it. This does not.
I wonder, because there's nothing to keep that mineral oil from soaking into the wood. I wonder what % of that mineral oil gets absorbed into the wood just leaving that wax on the surface.
Don't know. That's why with the abrasive paste, you want to buff that off till you get a clean paper towel back. That way you've gotten all the oil that's in it off of there. If you have too much oil, and I know the rebuttal for it, but with these hard waxes like carnauba, if you have too much oil on the wood, your your bright, shiny wax finish can come back and cloud up on you in a day or two. So yeah, some of it obviously has to, but you also want to buff it till it's about gone.
Yeah.
Well,
And this
Mike,
piece will get buffed more. It'll get waxed and buffed at least one more time, if not 2 or 3 more times.
so Mike says, are you trying to say wax on, wax off?
Pretty much. You don't want to take all the wax back off, but you wax it. Yes, you buff it. You buff the surface off and what's left in the wood.
Ronald Todd said, I believe the polish is supposed to sit for 20 minutes before buffing. and I had heard that sometimes on the Carnauba based stuff as well, that it should, like the Hampshire Sheen high gloss, you're supposed to let it sit a little bit. And I
Martin
thought
Saban Smith said no.
Yeah.
That was asked directly of him on a live one time, and he said absolutely not. That will cause more problems than your. He knew what they were talking about, but he said
Yeah.
it'll cause more trouble if you leave it sit. Tom Ackley has said basically the same thing. You can let it sit, but it really doesn't matter because there's no solvents in it to evaporate. That's why you let most waxes sit, is because it's got solvents in it.
Either way, I'm not patient enough to let anything sit.
You're right. I'm patient enough that that's what it takes. I've tried letting it sit for 20 minutes. I let it sit for a couple of hours, come back and put more wax on top of it. That was suggested one time. It didn't make any difference. This is what I get. The only way I can build this up as shinier is put more wax on it. If I let that sit and come back like tomorrow morning, which I can't because I got to go to work. But anyway, that's the idea. Yeah, if it's got any kind of solvents in it, you definitely want it to sit. 20 minutes is good for most waxes. I used to use Johnson's floor wax for a long time till I thought that's what I was using there for a little while, and I realized the new can that I had gotten, it's Minwax. Looked the same as the old Johnson can, but
I was going to say, I thought Johnson's was discontinued.
it was. You can still find it on eBay, but
For
that,
about $120 a can
or more.
Yeah.
It's craziness what people are charging, and apparently people are buying it.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. So Jim Spalding had said, I've been gifted a very large cherry tree that has to be taken down. What are you folks using for ingrain sealer? Gab replied, PVA glue. Gab, was that you that like just a couple of days ago did a video on using the watered down glue instead of the anchor seal? Was that Gav?
Ray Apodaca did that.
Oh, it was Ray. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray used to be in Michigan. He's in Texas now. I still use anchor seal. I don't seem to have any issues when I use anchor seal. I've never even, honestly, I've not tried the glue. I've tried paint. Paint did not work for me at all.
Yeah, like the latex paints?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can
Did you use it at full strength or did you water it down?
The paint, full strength.
Okay.
Can we get a camera change, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. Didn't even think about it.
Yeah, Andy's saying 1/3 PVA or original Tite Bond, and then 2/3 water.
Yes, that's what Ray was using the other day in his video.
And what he did was he took a mason jar, put about, filled it at about 20%, and then put about 40% water on the top of it, and stirred it up and used it, and then just put the lid on it, put it on a shelf for next time.
Yep. And he has had you can't argue with somebody's success. I'm not going to
Yeah.
argue with it.
Yeah.
It's just, I just haven't used it. And I know people who have had great success with paint. I have not had success that way. Of course, other people have said they can't keep it from cracking with Anchor Seal. And that's all I've ever used other than the paint. Let's see. I want to see what that looks like. Looks like it's got just a little sapwood right on the top. And it does. It's also got that piece of bark right there. I think I can straighten that out without any problem. Okay. I'm going to end up having to remove that tailstock completely. It's down on the very end. It's still in my way.
Jim says,
I
son,
knew I was
oh
going to do
no,
that. I was just thinking about it. Doggone it.
man, that tenon is still in the chuck.
Yep, it sheared it beautifully.
Oh.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, it sheared it right off. And I was just thinking about it. I was getting too aggressive. And I took it right off. There's always a way. Always a way.
Yeah. Doug at the Scottish Way is talking about success might be more about how it's stored after cutting and sealing rather than the product used. And there might be something to that because like Ray, he was putting his in a box with shavings even after sealing it.
Yeah. That's something else I've done that I've had some success putting it in a box, not even sealing it, just putting it in a box.
And there's something to be said for that because it reduces the air movement around it, which is going to change the drying of it too, which Ray talked about in his video.
Right. You slow the air movement. Still has air, but you slow the movement of air so that it doesn't force it. We're going to bring this tailstock up lightly and see. Sort of know where the center is here. How far out are we? Just a touch. Need to go up on the bottom. That's better.
Dale says he uses paper bags and shavings. I've done that before. I don't turn a lot of wood. Once turn it, twice turn it.
I have a hard time finding paper bags. I could buy them, I guess, but who wants to do that? And the grocery stores used to give them to you like crazy. Let's see, turn my speed back down.
I as luck would have it, literally this morning leaving my dad's house, I looked over at a shelf where my mom had a stack of paper bags and paper bags, yard waste paper bags that probably would be great for
yes, yeah.
There was just a huge stack of them sitting there on a shelf yet in the garage.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy those, and those would be fantastic. Let's see, if I put that to overhead, you might see what I'm doing. You can almost see it, can't you? Make my tenon just a little bigger than I did the original one.
Now, Ron is asking, he says, I know you're under the gun for time, but wouldn't it be better to glue the tenon back on with Titebond? My answer to that would be no.
My answer would be no as well. It's never going to be as strong as solid wood. You could do that. That's just not my. I'd rather turn a new tenon and reshape my bottom. That's easy enough to do, especially after I get the inside of it done. Plus, if I
And
use
could you have
Titebond,
possibly squeezed the chuck down too tight over it and squashed it a bit?
I don't think
No.
so.
Not the way it sheared off.
Yeah, no, this was just a matter of I was forcing my cuts too tight, and it was a very shallow tenon. I had about half of that much tenon. It wasn't a very big tenon at all. But had I not been forcing the hollowing, it would have been. That's what did it. I was pushing it too. I was running 1,300 RPMs and trying to cut it too fast. All right, so we're there now. I am going to get the vaccinator out of the tailstock. I think I've told y'all before, I've got this allergy to pain. So I try not to experience it as much as possible.
I share the same one.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're set.
Camera change?
Yep. Speed is back up. Camera is changed. Let's see, I'm going to go to my Easy Wood. Number 1 hauler. I got to drop my tool stock just a touch. I believe that'll do us. There we go. Everything's tight.
Now, talking about the tree, Jim is looking at processing. What I'd make sure I do, Jim, is when you process it into smaller logs, make sure you cut the pith out.
Yes. Yeah, when I was.
Work joined us.
Who's that? Who just joined?
Jamie Page.
Oh, okay. Hey, Jamie. While I was at my dad's, that tailstock just got in my way. So, I was telling you, I got this piece of walnut from my dad's. While I was there, I processed some cherry for them. My dad and my brother-in-law processed it. It was a couple of half logs. I guess it was 4 half logs. Now I processed 2 of them were cracked, almost perfectly down the center. It was a pith crack, and so I processed them into real nice bowl blanks. And then one that had no cracks in it at all, I made it round. It was going to be a beautiful bowl. Yeah, I should have known Jamie was about to show up when I pulled out my number 1 hauler.
Well, if he'd have seen you howling without it, he'd have made a comment. I'm right with him. I love the number 1 hauler.
Yeah, it's a great tool. I'm having to reach around an awful long way to get under there, so let's pull out a different tool, like the number 3, in a little larger size. This one is old enough that this was before they all came with handles, and that's actually a typical easy wood handle, but that's out of hickory. They don't do hickory handles. Like I said, this one's old. I've had this a long time.
You got to move that tool rest to an uncomfortable distance away.
Yes, you do. You do. Another friend of mine, he and I were both doing some hollow forms at the time. He went and got some easy woods. I told him they cut like crazy. He was trying to do some ornaments, so he got the small ones. And he was using he was doing it wrong. First off, he had the tool up here so that it would turn. He said, "Man, you got to fight that thing to keep it straight." I said, "No, not if you pull your tool rest back far enough to get the flat on the tool rest." He did that, and changed his world.
Well, now they put the marks on the side of the tool that says this is where the tool rest belongs.
Yes, or not past this point.
Yeah.
I think it's on my right there. See the mark? That's on the number 1. They've got them on the newer number 3s, but like I said, mine's an old one, so I don't have that mark on this tool anyway. All right. I think I need to clean that out and get my that's got back to here just beautifully. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I was thinking of cleaning this, making this lower so this would be smooth and everything, but that's bark. I think I'm going to leave it as it is. It's nice and smooth on the other side because it was more complete. But we're into one of the deep parts of the bark. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it around so that I can get in here and do the other side. Reverse it. That's what I was trying to say the other day. And that makes some shavings. That little cutter makes a lot of shavings quick. A lot of shavings quick. All right, we're moving right on down.
Doug at the Scottish Way says those marks are only recommendations.
This is true. Kind of like those black and white signs we have on the side of our interstates with a 70 on it. Just a recommendation.
Here in Dallas, I'm pretty sure most people think the red ones are just recommendations only. Fewer and fewer people stop at those things every day. It's ridiculous.
Really? I was reminded last night, not last night, or was it? Yeah, it was last night. I was leaving the Ark, and we have to ride a shuttle bus over to the parking lot. I was reminded when I was in Boston, at the time they were doing what they called the Big Dig. It was a huge road construction project right in the middle of town. And it started off as a great big hole. and which most construction projects do. But anyway, there's a place where like 6 lanes of traffic funnel down to 2 lanes on each side of the road. And I was in a rental car, and this lady was in a brand new, huge Cadillac. And I knew it was brand new. It still had the stickers in the windows. So here I am, and I see this car out the corner of my eye, and she's about to hit me. And I look over, and sure enough, here she comes. She's coming right over into my lane. And just being a defensive driver by nature, I hit the brakes and let her get by. How she missed me, I don't know. But I was telling some of the people that live up there about it, and they started laughing. I said, what's so funny? They said, I know exactly what happened. She started over, and you looked, didn't you? I said, yeah, I looked. If I hadn't, she'd have hit me. They said, no, if you hadn't looked, she would have stopped. She could see me look, and so she went on. She knew I was going to stop. So I said, that you guys are nuts up here. I'm going back home to the south where we look and are courteous.
JP said we had a police chase go past my house a couple of times tonight, which ended with the air ambulance coming out.
Uh-oh.
Now, I'm picturing a police chase that goes by your house once, but twice we call that NASCAR. Right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, doesn't it? All right, I'm almost to the point where I got to pull out one of Ruby's favorite tools here. To do that, I've got to put that over there, put this over here, get rid of those for right this minute. Okay. Oh, gotta have that, and I've got to have, I think it's this one. Yes.
Mike says, well, did they catch you, JP?
Okay. Oh, good. I've got another 1/2 inch depth I can go down. So we're good there. And I didn't show you all that so that you could see. Oh, get out. There we go. Change my camera to this one, I think. Okay. I've got this piece, which is my base. It goes in against my headstock right on the ways. Then this piece goes in, and the end of this dowel is in line with with this edge. So I've got it. I go in, keeping it down on my bedways, put it against the bottom of my bowl, and then I can measure between. Get out here. Measure between the two pieces out here. And I've got right at 1 inch. So I can go down maybe another 1/2 inch and I'll be good. So I've got plenty of room for now. That'll change. That changes quick sometimes. Then all we got to do is concentrate on the wall thickness, which it's pretty thick. From here down, the wall is pretty thick. But we're getting there. Stay in reverse. Make sure we're not hitting.
Are your calipers long enough to get to the bottom there?
No. But that's what that other depth gauge does. It tells me how much distance I have between the bottom of the bowl and the front edge of the jaws.
Okay.
That's what I've got, 1 inch there, so I can take a 1/2 inch out.
Now, I meant your finger calipers.
Oh no, my finger calipers. Well, I can go that deep with my thumb I could go a little further, but I can't. I'm not going to go much deeper in the bottom anyway. But the thickness of the walls is what I'm concerned with more than anything right now. I am going to go a little deeper.
You want to change cameras again, maybe?
I can do that.
I
Not that
know
there's
you
anything.
can. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask you.
There's not much to see, but yes, I can. That's the only problem with doing hollow forms or anything like that on a live. People can't see it.
Yeah, but
It was
even
open.
while you're going in cutting right now, if the tool starts to vibrate or bounce, that's something we could visibly see.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the train wreck that's about to happen, can't you?
Right.
Oh, yeah. I've got a big lump, a couple of big lumps. That's what I've been feeling. I've been trying to work them out.
Now, what I do when I'm turning a dark wood like this, if there's a lump, I'll take a white pencil crayon and I'll mark where it is so that while it's spinning, I know exactly where it is I want to cut.
Yeah. While we're there, let's take another. Oh, yeah. From here almost all the way down, I've got a load of wood to take out yet. Man, just that one pass. It's like we were saying a while ago, Todd, a little bit. It makes a big difference. Still a lot of wood in there, but bring this back to the outside so I can get this upper part.
Paul wants to know if you're reverse turning there. Looks like
Yep.
you're turning on the right side. So
I am.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got it running in reverse. Usually I'd be cutting on my side, but so I'm not coming across. I can keep, reverse it, and it's much more comfortable. I can see what I'm doing a little better.
Well, it makes it easier for the audience to see what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
That's a feature in the record power lathe that I like being able to
That you can reverse it.
turn the headstock so I can stand in a more comfortable position for
Oh
hollowing.
yeah. Yes. Yes. I have turned this one quite a number of times. It does wonderfully that way. Turned a 19.5 platter, turned this 19.5 inch platter, turned the headstock, not 45, but just enough where that blank would fit on my side of the bedways.
Yep.
And it made all the difference in the world.
My Nova
Especially-
DVR XP has 4 indents, I guess, coming towards you at 22.5, 45, and 90.
Okay.
And then one indent going away from you at 22.5.
Huh.
I've never turned it away from me, but
Right.
I'm going to try that because sometimes I have something on, if it's a bigger bowl right now, it just feels uncomfortable getting my hand in there the way my lathe is set up between the bowl and the headstock. But if I was to turn that thing away from me a little bit, it might feel like it opened it up some. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
check it out once and see if it's
Absolutely. Well, in fact, if I remember right, I don't have indents. Mine just I loosen the bolt and it can swing all the way around. Um, Seems like on that big platter, I turned it away. Once I got my, how did I do that? Had it turned to me, got a tenon, turned it around, and I don't think I ever changed it again. But I think I turned it the other side to work on the bottom before I turned it toward me to work on the top.
Yeah.
I believe that's what I did. All right, let's see. I'm moving my tail or my tool rest. I didn't need to. So I want to get my my big one, my CI0, the original big round one, just to smooth out any ridges that I might have. Just kind of a light touch all the way around, and feeling for any ridges. I don't think I left any, but I also know that this particular cutter is a brand new cutter.
That makes a world of difference.
It does. It was cutting fairly well on the last one, but I was just feeling like this ought to cut even better. So I changed it, and I could not believe. I knew new ones make a big difference. I was surprised how much difference, and it cuts smoother too. Not just taking the ridges out, but the surface as a whole. I've got a nubbity nub in the bottom, but that's easy enough to take out. Did I get it all? Not quite. I need one of those little lights so I can see in there. Well, it's still there. Let's go back the other way with it. So I turn it off, reverse it. I can't, that's the one thing with this lathe I can't do. I can't reverse while it's running. If I were to turn it on when it was still running in the wrong direction, it would keep going in the wrong direction, even though I changed the circuitry.
And Sid has joined us. Hi, Sid.
Hey, Sid. Yeah, I need to mark that somehow. I'm marking the very center. I can't see in there. There it is. Now I got it where I can see it.
We're going to have to get you some white pencil crayons.
I've got one. I've got one. I forget where it was. Michael's, I think. And they had white pencils there, and I got my. Well, they had them singly. A lot of places have them in packs, and I didn't want a whole pack of them. But yeah, I like my white pencil. All right, just a cleaning, shaving cut there. Turn it down. Turn on the dust collector. Now, are y'all hearing that dust collector at all?
No?
Okay. That just blows my mind. As loud as it is, and y'all can't hear it. Jabra does a good job.
I think when I first started turning, one of the things that fascinated me about it was watching the dust and shavings going into the dust extractor.
Yeah.
It's kind of mesmerizing.
Now, because this is a hollow form and there is a little bit of a sharp edge there with that bark, I'm going to skip the 120 grit. So I'll go from 80 to 180 this time. Oh, that's not so bad. I don't want to stick my hand down in there for sure. If it was a nice, solid, real smooth edge, I would stick my hand down in here without any question.
And Todd's got to leave. So see you,
All right,
Todd.
Todd. You have a great evening, Todd. All right. Stick that there for now. Oh. All right. I want to, while we're here, let's put a little more wax on this outside. I don't think I bumped it. That bark doesn't like to shine at all. Doesn't matter what you do to it, but get a little more on it.
Jennifer has to go and take care of everyone.
All right, Jennifer, you have a good evening yourself. Say hello to Mark for me. Used to be that Jennifer would be in a chat and Mark, her husband, would come in and she would say, "Hey, babes." So now anytime, most of the time when I see him come in to anything, I'll say, "Hey, babes." I did that one time and everybody was saying, "Something you need to tell us there, Doug?" No, not really.
I met them both in England
Yeah.
at Wizardry and Wood many years ago.
Uh-huh.
They're a nice couple.
They really are.
And Lucy's letting you know that Mark was in earlier.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, Mark's a good guy and he takes it well. He knows where it comes from.
You have to have a sense of humor today.
Why, sure. This is just some walnut oil that I'm putting on the inside of this bowl. I don't know why I think walnut oil is particularly good for walnut wood, but I do.
Well, at least you know it's compatible.
Absolutely. Run that speed up, 1600 now.
Now, Mike says he's gagging for a coffee, but hanging on for the finish.
You know what? Coffee sounds really good right now.
I prefer a hot tea myself.
Sure, I understand. Not everybody's a coffee drinker. Not everybody's a tea drinker.
Now, I love the smell of coffee brewing.
Right?
I just find it's too bitter in the taste.
I when I was a kid growing up, I loved the smell of coffee, but I couldn't stand I just could not. No way. And then I had a job on a construction team that one of the guys brought coffee and he said, if you can have all the coffee you want. He said, I don't supply cups, I don't supply cream or sugar. So I had already started drinking a little bit with a lot of cream and a lot of sugar. On that job, it took me about a week and I started liking it black. And I can't stand it with sugar and cream in it now.
Scott says he's still here waiting until the bitter end.
All right, we're at 4:30. Oh my goodness. Well, I did have a little bit of a time waster with that tenon shearing off. And that was, again, that was my fault. I was pushing way harder than I needed to.
But that's okay, Doug, because then people got to see how you dealt with the issue when it
Yeah.
happened to you.
Center it up the best I can, get it going again. It's, you know, it's not that, even if it ruined the piece, you know, I've got 2 more just like it. And wood grows on trees. So,
You're sure about that?
yeah, I am.
See, I
Oh.
heard that it didn't grow on trees, it grew in them.
Same difference. uh, that just reminds me, when I was taking Greek, I learned that there are Greek what are those words? In, and, or in, on, is that participles?
Right?
Okay. Well, they have participles in Greek. However, I'm looking for my non-slip pad here, and I'm not finding it. The participles in Greek don't necessarily mean anything concrete. You can use the same word for above, below, on, in. Doesn't
Right.
matter. So,
Are you going to do a lid and finial tonight?
nope. Wasn't planning on a lid for this particular one at all. However, that would look good. If I could pick this thing up and put it back on. I'm about to the point of wanting to get a swing away holder for my tailstock. Let's see. I want this.
I just put an extension on the back end so I can move it far enough out of the way.
Yeah, that's a great idea. My problem is I don't have a lot of extra room. If I put an extension on it, I would have an issue walking around it. All right, let's see. I think this will work, but I've got to get, let's see if I can find my, nope, that's not it.
Gab says that a little shelf works.
Yeah.
If you put the shelf on wheels.
Yeah, that would work, I think. This block won't work. It's not deep enough. But I've got one, I think. Now it's falling. This will work, I think. Don't need any comments from the peanut gallery, I know. There. That will definitely work. Now, because there's a hole or a center.
No offense, but I wouldn't trust that diameter.
I know what you're saying. It won't be a problem.
That's why I have a vacuum chuck.
Yeah. And I've got all the stuff for this lathe, and I just have not put it together.
What are we going to do with you?
I know. I've got 2 vacuum pumps. One that I've got rigged up on a vacuum pot for stabilizing, and I've got another one that I bought at a estate sale. Okay, let's slow it down.
Well, one day we'll have to do a video call, and I'll show you a vacuum chuck you can make.
Yeah.
It'll work with your pump.
I've got a bearing. I need a piece of lamp rod.
If you get a piece of plastic piping from the garden center at the Home Hardware, that'll fit the inner diameter of the bearing, you can go from there.
Yeah. And all we're doing is the tenon is basically gone now. I'm trying to make this a concave, smooth concave surface. And I've got plenty of wood to work with as long as I don't go stupid crazy. Not that I ever do that much. And I'm going to round this corner again, kind of like it was earlier, but I'm not going to put the foot on it this time. Got a little bit of that squall in it. It doesn't like that paper towel in there. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I'm concave in here yet either. I got to make another pass or so just to make it concave. Get that now before I forget to do it.
Well, that's okay. Gav says he's just put his face shield on. Now I'm concave. And Jake's put on his Band-Aids.
Jake Thompson?
Yeah,
Hey, Jake.
and Hoppers is ready to catch. Geez, all bases are covered, Doug.
Yeah. I still like the Phil Anderson way of taking the nubs off, working them down. There are a lot of things that Phil did with his turnings that I scratched my head. Why? He and I had some discussions about some of those things.
Yeah, he helped a lot of people out.
Well, yeah, it was his way of doing things, and I don't fault anybody for doing it their way. But he had a different way of looking at a piece of wood. Turn my speed down. It's 275 there. Yeah, Phil would look at a piece of wood that most of us would say, nah, why bother? And he would turn a piece of interest anyway. It may not be an absolute beauty, but it was an interesting piece. But if nothing else, I like his way of taking the nub off. Left hand's on the stop button.
You're not going to put the finish on the rest of that?
No, because it's got to be sanded yet.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to stop there because I'm pushing so hard it was stopping. So since I'm going to do that, let's go ahead and I'll turn my speed up just a touch.
Hopper says he lost track of how many times he thought Phil was turning something upside down.
Yes, yes. In fact, there were a time or two when I said, Phil, I would have turned that exactly 180 degrees from there. He said, yeah, I understand that. But it just spoke to me this way, so that's what I did. And I thought, if it's your piece. Quite often I would tell him, you're the artist, it's your piece. I would have done a different way, but I understand what you're doing. No problem. We had some discussions about some of his stuff. There's one piece I thought he just made a mistake as far as I was concerned. He just did it wrong. And he and I talked about it, and he said, I see what you're saying now. Now that you mention it, that would have been good. Nice, man. I wish I'd have had the opportunity to meet him in person.
I found the majority of the people who are involved in turning are very nice people.
Most of them are, yes. There's a few knuckleheads out there.
Yeah, there always are in life.
Yeah. Yeah, we lost Todd, didn't we?
Yes.
I'm sitting here thinking, I hadn't heard Todd say anything for a little while. Get over here where I can see, and he's not there. Okay. Now that we've brought it that far. I normally like to rub in the axe by hand first. I wonder if my headstock is not straight.
Scott says, not me. I can be a bit sarcastic.
I'm starting to think most people can be a bit sarcastic from time to time. I certainly can.
I've mellowed a little bit in my old age. This morning I went out to pick up something, and as I was waiting for a lady to back out of a parking spot, she had just got into her car. I saw her door open, a bunch of garbage go out and get thrown into the parking spot.
Huh. That's wild.
Yeah, you don't see that very often here, and I was tempted to do something, but I wisely didn't.
Yeah. All right.
So when I took her spot, I just picked it up and threw it in the garbage.
Yeah, right. There we go. I still got to put some wax on there, but change cameras again. Get this face shield off. Oh, golly, that camera got hit. There we go. One walnut bowl, a little bit of a bark inclusion on top on both sides of it with the sapwood still there. I hope that'll stay. If it does, to me, it's gorgeous.
I think it looks great.
Yeah. The bottom, I still got to take the nub off. We'll rub a little wax in there once I get the nub off. Inside just has oil. It's walnut oil. Well, I'll figure out which way to turn it here in a minute. And you can see the little shiny spot where the end of my jam chuck was rubbing, but that'll rub right out too. So we're okay. And I'll put some more wax on the outside as well.
Beautiful colors.
Thank you. I just love walnut. I will be surprised once I get this completely finished and I take it out to show my bride, who right now is sick. She's got the crud, but she will say, that stays here, right? I'll say, no. And she'll say, please. And I'll say, okay. I'm pretty, she knows how to push it. And
she knows when to push it and when to leave it alone. So when she wants something, I typically let her have it. I think
Hey,
the last thing I did, she wanted, and I went ahead and took it to the store, but not usually. Usually, if she wants it, it stays right here. There we go. Now I can see. Thank you, folks. I'm seeing lots of Scott Hampton. Yes, it happens in here in Kentucky as well. People dropping their garbage in the Walmart parking lot. It blows my mind. You see them come out of the store, they'll get all the wrappings off the stuff and leave it laying in the parking lot. Just blows me away.
I don't
Uh,
understand that mentality. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Martin, thank you. Jim, thank you. Raymond, Gav, all you folks, thank you so much. Haley, Jake, thanks a bunch, bud. And I just watched Saturday morning cartoons just before we started too, so might have been some fun things there. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not. Anyway, thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Jason, Ruby, thank you guys, and I'll thank Todd later. He must have had something he had to go do. His daughter probably had something going on. Yes, you can just see where it's got just a little bit of an upturn to there we go. A little bit of an upturn to the rim, and it really, to me, kind of sets the top of it off. Says this is it. So anyway, there it is. Thank you all for being here. A little longer this week than it should have been, but sometimes it can't be helped. You have little detours that cause you to make slight changes, like a tendon coming off, and you have to remove the foot so you can make a new tendon. But it's all good. All good.
And you had the foot there to remove.
Yeah. Well, at that time I still had I had an inch and a half of wood there. I could have put the foot back on. I just chose not to. Doesn't really need a foot. It's got a little upturn from the bottom into the side, so it works out real good. It's
the first
All right,
time
I
I've
see.
seen spalting in the sapwood.
Yes, isn't it? Isn't that great?
Yeah, you don't usually see that.
Yeah, there's some beautiful lines right through there.
Yep.
Some spalting. Yes, you're right. Usually, and if it gets in the heartwood, it actually turns white, which is pretty cool. But this is, just the sapwood has just a touch of spalting in it. Has some ripple in there. This may have been a limb. I don't know. I didn't see the tree before it came down. I just saw the pieces. And what's amazing is there's another chunk just like it, and I got a third one that's got even more of a crotch figure in it.
Well, then
I
if
guess
she keeps that one, you have some more that you can make another one from.
I was going to say, I guess I have to turn some more. What a shame. You can see I'm broke up about it.
Yeah, I can tell.
All right. Well, folks, I'm going to let everybody go. I've got some other things I need to do as well. So y'all have a great week. If I don't see you before, I'll see you next week. Not sure what we're doing next week, but I'll figure it out here in a little while, and I'll go ahead and put the link in so everybody can see that. So thank you all for being here. Ruby and Jason, thank you guys. Todd, wherever you are, thank you. And we'll see you all again next week. Bye-bye.
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 There we go. Both buttons